Lord have mercy. You can feel this, but look like sometimes, and I do, oh, Lord have mercy. I can feel the presence of God. Look like it's a presence. And you just be talking to him, and you know without a shadow of a doubt, you can feel his presence. And when you get there, you ain't gonna mind talking to God. When you get there, let me read, listen.
Go down to prayers of duty.
Instead of viewing, but second paragraph.
Instead of viewing prayer as a dull, boring duty,
listen.
Christians should view communication with the King of Kings as a wonderful privilege. The Lord has invited us to pray and commune with him. Although prayer is necessary to initiate and maintain a relationship with Jesus Christ, it also is the greatest opportunity of our lives.
The greatest opportunities of our lives. Talking to God. Read, listen.
While preaching at a camp meeting many years ago, Oscar Voga stated, "I was born in the fire and I can't live in the smoke." Sometimes,
think about that. Stop. I was born in the fire, and I cannot live in the smoke. Lord, that was one of them that I wanted. I was born in the fire, and I cannot live in the smoke. We need to stop living in the smoke, y'all. We got to keep the fire prayer burning. You can't go off of yesterday's Pentecostal experience. That's what some saints are. Read. Listen at this.
Sometimes people erroneously think they can live on the dying embers of a past Pentecostal experience in the Holy Ghost.
You need to keep the fires burning. And we living off of smoke. Read.
Rather, we need a fresh wind of God's Spirit daily. And that only comes through seeking God's will in prayer. The early church of the book of Acts was born in a prayer meeting, and the postmodern church of the 21st century should continue in the same pattern to see the end time harvest. One simply cannot substitute anything else for prayer.
You can't substitute. No. Oh my God. I tell you what, as I told y'all before, I'm going to tell you again. When you get through with these teenagers, they're going to teach y'all how to pray. See, I had 4 of them. And at that time, I'm going to be honest with you, I was just about alone. Because at that time, you know, everybody else's children were small number babies. And I told them then, I said, y'all relaxing. You better pray for somebody else when they going through. I said, because y'all children get off of y'all lap. When they get off y'all lap, hey, there it is. See, we look like nobody praying with me, because see, mine was the first one in the church to get old. Lord, when you get through with these children, honey, you're going to learn how to pray. When they get through taking you through, you're going to learn how to pray. My God, saint, y'all better pray. Pray for these children. Woo. That's why you got to pray for one another, because see, these children, you will learn how to pray and believe God. You got to believe God, saint. And when you get through with these children, then you'll learn how to believe God for other things. You're going to learn how to believe God. Because a pastor used to always say, if you're going to pray for the boy, don't turn around and lay up here and can't sleep worried about it. If you're going to worry, just stop praying. If you're going to pray, stop worrying. They don't go together. He said, girl, you're going to cause something to happen to that boy if you keep worrying. Remember one night I woke up, oh God. I woke up out of sleep, and I was sleeping good, and I woke up, this is when I was raising my children. And I woke up with the worst one on my mind, which was Tony. And I started praying, and I started praying, and I started praying, because I knew something was wrong, because it just woke me up. And I was praying, and I just started praying and praying and praying. Woo, lo and behold, Lord, this was about 2 o'clock in the morning, the phone rang. Hard in my toes. And who was it? But Tony, in trouble, whatever, but don't. Oh, Lord have mercy. So when I talked to him and I hung the phone up, you know, Elder was asleep, but when the phone rang, he woke up. And he told me, and I said, I have been laying here praying for you. He said, if you're going to pray, stop worrying. Stop worrying. Now, I woke up to pray, and I did pray, and I was praying hard. But when the phone rang, I was so afraid to answer the phone. What is that saying? You are still not believing God. I was praying that nothing would, oh Lord have mercy. Saints, you must believe God. You must believe God. Don't nobody want their phone to ring at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now do you? We used to it though. Now do you? Doing my daily prayer, and while I was praying, that visit came to me and told me, you're going to get a phone call, but do not believe what's going to be told you. Tell me all she said. She told me how many was up there had guns and they was going to kill him. And it was prayer time, 4-hour prayer. Pastor was going to pick the people up, and the Lord said, okay, are you going to go up there or are you going to go to prayer? And I said, Lord, now this ain't no time to be testing me. He said, are you going up there or are you going to go to prayer? I had to throw everything down. I said, I'm going to prayer. I came up here and I was praying, and you better believe I was praying. I said, I got to go to prayer. Lord, I'm believing you. I'm going to prayer. And the girl said, but they going to kill him. I'm going to prayer. I'm going to prayer. Now, had I went up there, I probably would have been dead. He would have been dead. I went to prayer. And before it was all over, about the 3rd hour while we was in prayer, Tony was downstairs in the house. Make a long story short. But back to that night, when I was in prayer, and God said, you're going to get a phone call, but don't believe it. I goes on, get up, come on back in, doing my daily work. Got a phone call, phone rang. I said, hello. It was Nina. It was Sister Pearlie's daughter. She said, Sister Ford. She said, where is Tony? I said, I don't know. He's not here. She said, Sister Ford, you better call Tony. She said, do you know his number? I said, yeah, I know his number. She said, well, you need to call him. I said, why, Nina? She said, because I'm telling you, Tony just got shot through the head. She said, it's a man named Tony, and he lived on Short Street. Tony lived on Short Street. She said, Sister Ford, you better call him. I said, but somebody would have been. She said, call him. I hung the phone up. Now, I forgot about what God had told me. I picked up the phone, so nervous. So nervous. I couldn't even dial the phone. When I finally got his numbers through, he said, hello. I said, dude, boy, you sound good for a dead man. He said, Mama, this is the man that lived next door to me. He was washing his car. Tony went out there and talked to the man. He had just left and went in the house. Went out there and talked to the man. Somebody came through, shot him through the head, and killed him dead. Right next door to him. But God told me, you're going to get a phone call, but don't believe it. But see how little faith I had? Oh. I was born in the fire, and I can't live in the smoke. Saints, we got to come out to smoke. We got to keep praying. We got to pray, saints. We got to pray. Read. Oh, we got to pray. Sickness and disease trying to take over, saints. We got to pray without ceasing. We got to pray this mess out of the house of prayer. This devil ain't nothing but a liar. He said this mess should not come near our dwelling place. We got to pray this stuff out of here. This devil trying to attack everybody in the house of prayer. But
You want me to go down to prayer is important?
yeah. No, wait a minute. Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
As much as we cannot live without oxygen and cannot survive for any length of time without food or water, we cannot live a successful Christian life without prayer.
Ain't no way to get around it. Saints, we must pray. We must pray. I don't care how bad the thing look, saints, that's when you got to pray. You got to pray when ain't nothing going on. You got to pray when everything is good. Saints, you got to pray. You got to pray. We got to maintain our prayer. We got to take out every day. You got to take out some time to pray. Every day, saints. And I'm going to tell you something. That does not mean that you got to be on your knees all the time. Saints, we can pray all day long. You can pray all day long. You can pray in your mind while you working on your job. Saints, you pray. Oh, Lord. How many pray while they're working? Keita, do you pray while you're working? Be honest. You be too busy? Sometime? Okay. Rachel, you leave her alone. You pray at school? You really do? That's good. How many of y'all really pray at school, son? Be honest. Rachel the only one says she pray at school. Krista, you don't pray at school? Just be honest. Talia, you don't pray at school? Be honest. Y'all don't pray at school? Rachel says she pray at school. You really do? Rachel says she pray at school. Krista said what?
That's true.
Chrissy, how can you ask that?
So I look at what I'm doing and start praying.
Well, y'all, and where I work, I have to pray. When my patients come before me, half their face cut off, half their nose cut off, their ears cut off,